Hi, Facebook. So, as we've been thinking about, no, I'm sorry, I've tried to get this thing straight anyway. I think that'll work. All right. Yeah, as we've been trying to think about Outlier and promoting it, which, you know, it's funny to think about promoting something like a sexual assault awareness project because it's a dark subject. And but it's a compelling one, and the demographic is 1 in 3. It's tough to come by a demographic that large. So I've been encouraged by my team to vlog, which is no surprise to many of you. You've seen me do that on my personal page. So I've got I have a task where I need to be communicating regularly and talking about the process with Outlier, which I love to do. So that's easy for me. Chris is our executive producer with Outlier, a first investor, early adopter, and a very precious friend to me. And we posted our video on the drive home, which was a lot of fun. So I've got a couple things I want to talk to you about today. First of all, we're going to talk about, well, it's all about New Orleans. And the shoot has happened. The exhibit is coming up. And we'll have dates and times on that for you later. But right now, I want to talk to you about room and board, dark places, staying the course, what's next, and how you can help. So with room and board, I wanted to talk about room and board in New Orleans because we had an amazing opportunity through Hyatt Regency New Orleans. Mr. Michael Smith is the general manager there, and he's a very dear friend of Betty Sun. And Betty Sun is the lady who hooked me up with the Human Rights Campaign to go down to New Orleans and be a part of that video that we showed at the gala dinner, and then made it possible for me and my colleague and my fellow Outlier, Robert J. Wilson, to be present at that gala, where I was able to meet Robin Roberts. So that was a big connection, very strategic connection for me. And that connection came from my dear friend, Alyssa Little, whom I love. So Alyssa introduced me to Betty. Betty introduced me to Michael. Michael gave us a free meeting room in which to shoot Outlier. And then he gave us a rate on rooms for the crew to stay at the Hyatt Regency and have an adjoining suite where we could do our video interviews of all the Outliers. And we had quite a few this time. So to say that we're grateful to the Hyatt Regency New Orleans is a severe understatement. We couldn't have done it without them. And it was amazing. And they were so accommodating, and the hospitality was spectacular. If you've never been to the Hyatt Regency New Orleans, I encourage you to take a visit, even if you just pass through and have a drink in Bourne, or go upstairs and have a cheese board at Vitascope, or grab a frappuccino at the Starbucks on the 2nd floor. And a huge shout out to the ladies in the Lanyap Exchange, the little hotel gift shop, which was so much more than that. And big thanks to them for helping to make our stay more comfortable. So we also need to talk about, so the guys stayed there. Chris and I, I know it's going to sound like we're precious, we're really not, but Chris and I stayed in the rolling Outlier RV, which we love. It belongs to Chris and her husband Keith, who's also an investor on Outlier, an early adopter, and just a precious supporter. So the RV is awesome, and it's the kind you drive, and it's got the push outs, and it's like sofas and a full kitchen, and we cooked, and it was great. Well, cooked is maybe too grandiose a term. We heated in the microwave, but we were able to do that like 6 minutes away from the hotel. So that was really unusual and unexpected, and such a blessing, because the RV park where we stayed is in a pretty remote location. We were wondering if we were in the right place, to be frank. But once we got there, inside the park, the security was so wonderful. There were lush trees and vegetation on every site, and it's just a great experience. We really enjoyed the restaurant there and ate there several times. Got to know some of the wait staff, so we can't wait to go back and see them again. A pool area right on the harbor, so you've got a water view, and rocking chairs along the back of the restaurant, which we look forward to taking advantage of then when we go back. Dark places. New Orleans was overwhelming. All of the stories that we had in New Orleans were deeper, more complex, darker, harder to hear, frightful, nightmare-inducing. Chris and I both have been having a lot of crazy dreams since this experience, and it was a full 5 days of shooting both photo and film, so it was an intensive submersion, I would say, into the Outlier stories. What's most disturbing, I think, is three of the cases in particular were childhood assaults, and they were repeated assaults over and over and over again by people that these outliers should have been able to trust at that point in their lives. And biological mothers, stepfathers, just really hard. So I feel like coming back, I feel like I've looked into an abyss, and I feel like that abyss was looking back at me. So I've had to really commit to some radical self-care. We got home 5-ish on Saturday and watched Sing with Jackson and Charlie, which was adorable. Had some dinner and went to bed and did not get out of bed until 5 p.m. the next day. So I slept probably a good 18 to 20 hours. Lots of fitful dreams and fitful sleep, but feeling very rested and back at it today. We had some productive meetings this morning for Outlier. I'm very glad that we're back on track. So we go to dark places, we look into the abyss, we see the abyss looking back at us, but we lean in, unafraid, because we know we're doing important work, valuable work, transformational work, and it's worth it, and I'd do it again and again and again. So we've come back to town to stay the course. There's a lot of marketing that needs to be done. We've met with our marketing expert, and we are really excited about the days to come. We'll be making announcements about the exhibit so that you can share that with all of your friends in New Orleans and help us get the good word out about that. What's next? What's next is we print the show. We're in the middle of looking at the photos that I've shot. I'm actually doing this video right now because I have the time to do it, because I'm downloading photos, which takes forever. So I'm capitalizing on the downtime. After we get the show printed, we make our arrangements to go back down to New Orleans for load-in and set it up, exhibit, hopefully have some speaking engagements while I'm down there, working on that now, and then load out and come back home. At this point, we are gathering and have gathered enough footage to satisfy our deadline and our commitment, which was to have a 6-episode pilot of the series, Outlier, and start shopping that to distribution companies and networks, private networks like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and PBS. So if you know anybody. And then finally, how can you help? I'm going to tell you the best possible way you can help Outlier, and you can help me personally, and I can't do it without you. I need more likes on my Outlier page, and I think we've got 409 right now, and I know we can do better. So the best way that you can help me and help us commit to this project and to its mission, which is to dispel victim stigma raise sexual assault awareness, and foster restorative justice. If you think those 3 things are important and you want to help commit to those things to help us achieve our goals with Outlier, I need you to share the Outlier Facebook page. I need you to like that page if you haven't already done so. And I need you to talk about the event that's coming up. These things will not cost you a cent, but they go miles in impact for Outlier's project and mission. So I want to give a huge thanks to our investors, some of whom have prefer not to be named. If that's something that you feel strongly about and you want to invest in Outlier, we are not going to stop you. We've had some great funding and we're in great shape, but I know things that I care about, I want to give to and support. And if you feel that way, we're going to make an opportunity for you to do that by clicking a button on the website or on the Facebook page. And I'll let you know more about that as we get it set up. But in the meantime, if you'll just like the Outlier page, share it among your networks, and then share the event when I get the event page up, that will go miles toward helping us. Thank you so much for everyone who's been supportive. Screw you to those who haven't, and because we're going to do it anyway. And a special love letter to New Orleans for all that it has given us. We're going to give it back, we promise. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.